Tasman, the Aspiring Kryptonian here, and I'm following up with my San Diego Comic-Con interviews. You may have seen the one with Mark Waid that went live yesterday. Now it's time for Nicole Maines. So we talked about her work on Secret Six, bringing Dreamer into the comics from the TV series, and what she's got next coming up for DC Comics. Here it is, and I hope you enjoy.
It's not the right suit for this kind of weather, let me tell you.
Well, because they keep it so cold in here for all the cosplayers.
It's as soon as you go outside, it's like a sauna. It's like
you're never
box.
comfortable.
No.
So welcome to the realm of super suits. You're never dressed appropriately, no matter what weather it is. It doesn't trap heat. It doesn't conduct heat. It doesn't do anything it's supposed to do. You're just always uncomfortable.
Yeah, I hear that.
But you look amazing.
Thank you. I was going to do introduction, but you kind of already introduced yourself. But I'm here
Hi.
with Nicole Maines, obviously Dreamer from Supergirl and a current writer of Secret Six, which I'm loving that series, by the way.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that.
In terms of the character Dreamer, obviously you played her in Supergirl.
Yes.
That was the first introduction of the character.
Yes.
And now she's in the comics, and you're writing those comics.
Yes.
How does that feel, and what's that process been like?
Satisfying.
Yeah?
It feels really, really satisfying. I'm excited to get to keep playing with her. Because as the show was coming to an end, my first reaction was like, well, hey man, I'm not done. I still have things I want to do with this character. And it's fun to get to kind of get to call the shots now and get to be like, well, I'd like to see her do this. And then I could just kind of do that.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate that DC has put a lot of faith in me and a lot of trust in me and a lot of patience. And they've given me a lot of like wiggle room to kind of explore her in these different ways. And she's become very different than she was on the show.
Yeah,
she is
absolutely
broken. And by the time we find her in Secret Six,
Yeah.
she is like I keep saying, known war criminal,
Yeah.
wanted in several countries.
been through a lot.
Not necessarily a hero. Definitely on the no-fly list for sure.
But was it always the intention to bring her from that TV series into the comics, or was that sort of a happy accident?
That kind of happened towards the end. I had come to DC with a pitch for a series, and I was like, hey, someone should write this. She shouldn't disappear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were like, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you be that person?
Better to do it.
And I was like, well, I think you guys have misunderstood what it is that I do. I'm like, no, I say the words that other people write. And I try, but I was like, yeah, sure, man, why not? And so that kind of became, and then COVID happened. I had my first meeting with them February of 2020. So then as COVID, I was in lockdown. I just was like, all right, let's learn to write a comic book.
And what was that process? How did you learn to write
Slow.
a comic book?
Slow. Well, they gave me a crash course. They gave me like the DC patented Comics 101 slideshow.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot. But it was basic too. There was a couple times where I was like, okay, I know what a panel is. I'm not brand new. But I was like, yeah, probably for the
cover
best.
all bases though. Just
Yeah,
in case,
probably
just
for the
in case.
best. Yeah.
And you kind of spoke about where Dreamer is in when she gets to Secret Six. She's sort of the team leader, but the team that she's.
Yeah, I would say John thinks he's the leader.
Okay.
And I would say Catman thinks he's the leader.
Yeah.
And I'd say Deadshot probably thinks he's the leader.
The
leader's probably Jay.
Yeah.
Black Alice doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She does not give a shit.
And to be honest, what I love about it is, for me particularly, I'm very much a Superman fan, as you can probably tell by the outfit. But it's nice to see these characters that I wouldn't necessarily read or know about. So it's nice to see them in the forefront. Talk about a little bit where Dreamer is in this situation. She's been through a lot. Yes. Like I said, she is very conflicted. She's done some things that she might should have done. Yeah. So what's coming up next for her in the series?
Well, in the series, we are at where we've just ended in 5 is Jay Nakamura and Dreamer seem to have finally been able to squash whatever it is, and they teamed up to wipe Amanda Waller's memory for good. Yeah. So Amanda Waller, as we know her, is gone. Who is left? Who knows? Okay. And so now all we know is we are at the bottom of a Checkmate facility. We know that Checkmate is working with the United States government. The United States government was working with Amanda, and they sanctioned, knew about, and approved all of her actions throughout absolute power. Right. So now the question is, so where do we go from here?
Yeah.
We got our revenge. There is a much bigger plot here.
Okay.
What do we do with that? And then John still hasn't shown up yet. This has all gone down, and Jay killed all those people, and John still doesn't know about it.
Okay.
You can't kill a bunch of army guys when Superman's your boyfriend.
Well, here we go.
You
yeah.
just can't do it.
And I was going to say, I really like, it seems like a triangle you've created between sort of Jay,
Yeah.
John, and Dreamer.
Yeah.
And they're all working towards the same end, but very different methods.
Yeah.
How has it been managing that, balancing that tone in terms of, this is the son of Superman, and these are darker tones that we're going for here?
What I really wanted to do with this series, especially with those three, was explore a lot of the sentiment that I feel like young people have about the world right now. I think it's no secret that we are in incredibly dark times. We are watching the rise of fascism. We are watching our country descend into, frankly, evil, funding evil shit, doing evil shit for kind of no other reason than, I guess, just the glee of it.
Yeah.
And as a young person, it can feel very paralyzing and very, okay, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, 100%.
What am I obligated to do? What's too much?
Yeah.
And each of these kids has a different response to that. Of course, Jay's response is going to be, well, I think we just need to burn the whole thing down. And John says, of course we can't just burn the whole thing down. There are people who rely on the systems in place. And Dreamer's like, well, surely we can bury a couple of people at least. Like, she's trying to hit the middle ground. She's like, come on. We can do a little bit of mischief, right? But the most important thing is that they're all still trying to work towards something. And for John in particular, it's a struggle because maybe the conclusions that he's coming to, just through his own personal experiences and his own traumas, are different than what his dad preaches.
Yeah. But I think that's important for him being, establishing his own character.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, he's the son of Superman.
He's been through a lot that's unique to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And in terms of the characters, you touched on Black Alice, Catman. What made you choose those specific characters for this?
Well, Black Alice had just been on the Suicide Squad with Dreamer, and so her having overlap in both of these teams felt like it made sense.
Yeah.
And I just loved writing her so much, and I like the dynamic between her and Dreamer, and I just kind of wanted to continue that.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for some ways to make it feel like the stories that I write have some degree of continuity to them.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can have recurring characters in any way that I can, I like that.
Yeah.
And then Catman and Deadshot are just, you can't do Secret Six without them.
Yeah.
And they have been some of my most fun to write.
I tell you what, they are hilarious.
I
the whole
absolutely adore them.
Are they your favorite in terms of writing? That was going to be my next question.
Man, I don't know. I love writing them. I really love writing for Deadshot in particular. But it might be Black Alice.
Okay.
She might be my favorite.
For what reason?
I think she's so interesting and she's so complex and she comes across as so. I've seen some folks talking about the way that she's so and to give credit where it's due, she is a lot meaner than she has been in previous iterations.
Okay.
She's a lot, but also like look what's happened to her. She saved the world a couple of times, and then her thanks is just being enslaved again.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, no matter what I do, I'm the butt of the joke. I'm on the receiving end of dog shit. So screw everybody. I'm like the most powerful magic user in the world. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So yeah, we can go to this club and we can be looking for Amanda Waller. I'm gonna go get pissed drunk and stir the pot. Because that's what I'm here to do, man. So that's been really fun for her. But and we see it a little bit. There's a couple of times when that armor cracks.
Yeah, there's
we
a few
see
times where you see her be not soft, but she has that nice.
Oh, when she gets
sense.
hammered at the club and she's talking to Dreamer. She's like, look, and you know, she'd never say this sober. She'd never say this of her own volition. She's like, I don't think you're really a bad person. I think you were put into an impossible position and you're doing your best. And I think John Kent is full of shit.
So in terms of, obviously, we've got the final issue coming out. I think it's on the 6th of August. Mm-hmm. We know John hasn't really showed up yet, but what can you tell us, obviously without spoilers, what's coming up in that final issue?
I would say folks who seem to be getting along aren't.
Okay.
I'd say it's issue 2 all over again.
The best issue that was.
Thank you. You know, we're just back to we're fighting again.
Okay.
God damn it. Just when we think we're at the end, everything goes to shit.
And in terms of, well, for me personally, I don't want to see the series end. So what's next for you at DC? And are there any characters that you want to work on that you haven't yet?
Yeah. Ooh, well, I'm very excited. I'm partnering again with Jadzia Axelrod.
Okay.
We are writing a Justice League story,
Oh, amazing.
bringing Galaxy and Dreamer back together for the
Okay.
first time in the mainline DCU. They
Yeah.
haven't really teamed up since they were kids, and that's in all the graphic novels. And we're gonna see them team up again. We're going to Naltor
Okay.
on a Naltorian spaceship with Adam Strange, Green Arrow, and Star Sapphire.
Well, that's one hell of a lineup.
It's a really fun team. Yeah. And Green Arrow's sitting there. He's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Between all of these guys.
And is that going to be sort of a similar dynamic to what we're seeing in Justice League Secret Six, or is it going to be a much nicer dynamic?
I mean, it's definitely nicer because they're heroes.
Yeah.
And they're of course fighting for good and all that. But Dreamer definitely brings an element of darkness. She is a certain dark cloud over this team, where Galaxy is, of course, so excited to be working on the Justice League and is so excited to, maybe hopefully get her membership card. And Dreamer is like, man, why did you call me?
Through it.
Why? Like, you know where I am. Like, I'm rolling with like assassins and murderers and like the bad guys. And so Dreamer has completely lost all faith in herself.
Okay.
What else is new? Dreamer hates herself. But Galaxy is such a ray of light. And if anyone's going to be able to maybe bring Dreamer back to the Nia that we know her as, I think it would be her.
Okay, amazing. And are there any characters that you haven't worked on yet, including that roster, that you would like to?
I think that roster is perfect.
Okay.
I think if there's anyone in the future that I could write that I haven't gotten to, I do really love Poison Ivy.
Oh, yeah.
I would love someday to do something with Poison Ivy.
That would be amazing.
Ooh, no, Marilyn Moonlight.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Ooh,
she is
I want
amazing.
them
I
to
love
team.
her.
I want Dreamer and Marilyn to
Every time
team
she shows up in a comic, I literally cheer.
I want them to do some high noon, like nighttime.
And did you read the issue where they kind of go into the Western and it's her and Superman?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Well, because we got some future seeing stuff going on in her from the future coming, so that could play into something too.
Well, that would be amazing.
I just be having pipe dreams.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to? Because that's the thing. I have all these comics that I want to write, but I have to be like, okay, continuity wise. Where am I right now?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in DC at the moment.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time.
Of
It's been an
course.
absolute honor.
It's so good to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Happy Comic-Con.